will never reach your goals if you only work on the days you feel like doing it. You have to be consistent. You have to get up every day and do it no matter what's going on with you and what's going on in the world.
Now here's the key to this.
And the ultimate mindset is this.
You don't need talent. You need discipline. Hard work, dedication, sacrifice. I can do that.
The current social media is being flooded with motivational videos, but the truth is, none of these videos will help you, because as soon as it comes to the point where you really need to do sport, you will just skip and keep on scrolling. So that's why I made this video. I want to show you how you can gain a champion's mindset defined by discipline. The first principle you should know is that discipline is always more important than motivation. This is because by definition, discipline can lead to routines, and routines can lead to habits, and habits will guarantee you long-term success. And a very similar principle to this is that consistency is more important than perfection. I won't count it as an extra principle because it's very similar, but the reason why that is true is because if you train always perfect, you will notice that you might skip training because you think yourself, okay, maybe I don't want to train today, so you might say, yeah, then I will just skip because it's better if I do nothing than if I do like 50% of training. And you might also conclude that you should always choose the perfect exercises, but that's completely false. It's very important that you choose exercises that make fun, because this will guarantee long-term success. And now you ask yourself, how can I implement that in my daily life? And there's actually a very good rule for this. This is the 1% rule, meaning that you try to be 1% better each day or each week, and this will guarantee way better results than if you try to do everything perfect at the start. The second principle is about suffering and pleasure, because one thing you should always remember is that suffering in a specific moment often means pleasure in the long term, and also of course in the opposite way. And this sentence is actually very useful in situations where you don't feel like you want to train. Just think of that sentence and remember, okay, in this moment, maybe in this workout, I will suffer. It could be painful, but in the long term, it will be pleasure for me. But this principle shouldn't be a general rule, because as I said before, in general, training should be fun. Because if training is fun, it will guarantee long-term success. So this rule only applies to when you really don't feel like you want to train. But in general, you should really like your training. The third principle is about identity. You should always ask yourself, who do you really want to be? And this might seem a bit trivial or kitschy, but it's actually very useful. Let's take the same example as before. Imagine you had a very long and hard day and you need to work out, but you think, I'm very tired, so I won't do it. Then you could ask yourself, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy who skips training or who really trains? And I think everyone knows the answer here. And a second question you could ask yourself, if the first one isn't enough, is would you be more proud of yourself if you train today or if you skip training? And here again, I think the answer is pretty clear. And the last principle that is also very important is that you don't choose fitness influencers as role models. And this might seem controversial at first, but let me tell you why. Often influencers claim to do crazy skills and generally very crazy achievements in a short period. For example, they tell you that they can do planche or front lever in 1 year, but that's actually unrealistic. And they also might tell you that they had this crazy physique like within 6 months, but that's just unrealistic. And some people take that and think that's how I want to be. But you always have to remember that these are unrealistic goals. So don't choose influencers as role models. Even if they say to you that they are 100% legit, you don't know them. That's why you should always be the best version of yourself and not of a fitness influencer. As a Roman Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, first say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do. If you have made it this far, it means something. It means that you really want to achieve the things that you have as goals. And I don't want you to see this as a typical motivational video. I want you to see this as a video that shows you how you can really learn discipline and consistency and gain a champion's mindset.